Hello all, I come in peace. It's Dionne. Thank you so much for joining me here today for this practice. We have a new year yoga flow. So this practice was designed to be gentle and nourishing. So after the excess of the holiday season and the busyness that the holiday season can bring, it's nice to just slow down and do some more restorative practice to gently nourish the body as well as awaken the energy for this new numeral year. So thank you so much for joining me here today. Please remember to leave a like, comment, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you found this video to be beneficial for you in any way, please make sure to share it with your friends, with your family, or with anyone that may benefit. And let's get started. Right away, let's get started coming into Sukha Asana or easy seat. So you can be seated cross-legged if that feels comfortable for you, or sit on top of the knees and ankles instead. We'll find a nice tall neutral spine, and we'll just gently close the eyes here. Begin to notice how you feel, and notice your breath. When you're ready, we'll get started with a few rounds of breath work. So we'll start with a deep breath in through the nose and exhale. Again, inhale, deep breath in, and exhale, long breath out. Let's do one more. Breathe it in. And exhale, release. Now, when you're ready, you can keep the eyes closed or open them if you prefer, but we'll just take a gentle look past the right shoulder, getting some neck stretches in here. We'll come back through center and look past the left shoulder. Let's come back through center. Now this time we'll draw some circles with the nose and really begin to roll out the neck here. Now you can keep the eyes closed or open, whichever makes you feel more comfortable, but just really tune in to how you're feeling. So we're beginning to release tension and stress in the neck, in the body, noticing how we feel. So remember, the idea for this practice is to be slow, nourishing, and grounding. Really take your time here to feel it out. You can draw full circles with the nose or do a half back and forth, halfway rocking motion going from the left and right side. When you're ready, we'll find a nice neutral spine. You can sit up nice and tall. Now from here, when you're ready, inhale, reach the arms all the way up. We'll use an exhale, twist to the right. Take your gaze past the right shoulder. Stay lifted in the heart space as you twist. Breathing deep into the belly, nice full body breaths. When you're ready, let's take a deep breath in. Exhale, long breath out. Let's use an inhale back through center, raise the arms up. Use your exhale, twist to the other side. Now we're taking our gaze past the left shoulder. Again, staying lifted in the heart space as we twist. So be careful if you're collapsing through the spine here. So you don't want to necessarily slouch or hang over. We want to stay broad and lifted through the chest. This will also make it easier to breathe. It gives your body a little bit more space when you lengthen and stack through the spine. When you're ready, inhale, big breath in. Exhale, long breath out. Let's use an inhale back through center, arms up. Exhale, we'll press the palms together, hands to heart, so we come to Anjali Mudra, prayer pose. As we do this, you can go ahead, take a moment, gently close the eyes, and just notice your breath. So for this practice, I invite you to recite the affirmation, I am the change I wish to see in the world. Let's take a deep breath in and exhale. Awesome job. Now, when you're ready, let's relax the hands down. We'll begin to work through some shoulder drops. So the hands can be rested comfortably in your lap on top of the knees. When you're ready, we'll use an inhale to squeeze and lift the shoulders up towards the ears. As we do this, we're tense. 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 And on your exhale, we drop. Let's do that again. Inhale, squeeze and lift. We're tense. 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 And exhale, drop. One more time. Inhale, squeeze and lift. We're tense. 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 And exhale, drop. Awesome job. Now from here, we'll come to sit long ways on the yoga mat. Generous bend in the knees. I'm actually going to take my bolster here. If you have a pillow at home, that will work just fine. Slide that underneath the knees, or you have the option, you can actually bring it on top so the belly is able to rest, because we're going to do a forward fold reaching for the toes. So whichever you find to be more comfortable for you, set yourself up here. When you're ready, inhale, reach up. Use your exhale to fold. So finding a seated forward fold here, we'll just gently bow the head towards the knee. Again, tune into your breath, to your breathing. Notice how you feel. Notice if your mind begins to wander, just bring your awareness back to your breath, back to your inhale in and your exhale out. So this practice isn't necessarily about getting our heart rate up or our blood pumping. It's about being slow and nourishing to the body, showing yourself lots of care, especially after spending time during this holiday season and the busyness of it all. It's nice to come back to ourselves and just have a moment to simply be. Setting intentions for this new year. Now, when you're ready, once you feel good here, we'll slowly sit up nice and tall. So coming out of our seated fold, I'm going to set my bolster to the side here and make my way onto hands and knees. As I do this, setting up for cat-cow. So coming into a tabletop to begin. When you're ready, we're using an inhale to drop the belly, gaze up towards the sky. Exhale, round it through chin to chest. Press away from the yoga mat. Inhale to drop the belly. Exhale, round it through. Really release as you curve through the spine here. So go ahead and continue your cat-cow at your own pace here, your own rhythm. Just really find what feels good for you and the body. Again, notice how you feel. Notice any sensations coming up within the body. As you transition from your cat to cow, if you want to take some extra bump side to side with the hips if that feels good. Just find what feels good. You might take some extra rocks back and forth. We'll give this just a few more breaths. When you're ready, let's find a nice neutral spine. Let's extend the right leg straight back, keeping the toes on the yoga mat here. When you're ready, let's cross the right foot off and over to the left side. Off the mat, take your gaze past the left shoulder. As you do this, we're getting a deeper stretch through that right side body, breathing deep into the right side body. I like to take some gentle rocks back and forth here to really deepen the stretch through the calf, through the hamstring, whatever feels good for you. When you're ready, we'll go ahead and release. Let's come back through center and switch. Extend the left leg straight back. When you're ready, cross that left foot off and over to the right. Take your gaze past the right shoulder. Getting a nice stretch through that left side body, breathing deep into the left side body. Again, you can take some rocks back and forth here if that feels good. This is really just all about finding what feels good in your body. So yoga is not at all about how it looks. It's all about how it feels. As you practice one pose to the next, what do you feel in your body? When you're ready, let's release back through center. So now, as we come back into our tabletop, let's sit up for puppy posture. I'm walking my knees back just a bit. I'll walk the hands forward. As I do this, I'll slowly begin to melt my heart space down towards the earth for puppy posture. Now you can rest the forehead down, ideally in puppy posture. The chin will rest against the yoga mat. Now you have the option here, if that does not feel good for the shoulders, if you have a block, or you can even use your pillow underneath the heart space. And what this will do is that it just brings the ground up to you for support. And this just makes it easier to achieve the pose. We'll take a few breaths here. When you're ready, we'll slowly release. So let's work our way up. If you have your bolster or your pillow, you can gently set that to the side. Awesome job. From here, as we raise the hips up, let's curl the toes under, hands are forward, downward facing dog. And a few breaths coming into your downward dog. You can pedal the feet, walk it out, find what feels good. As you allow the head to hang heavy here, you might shake the head a little yes, or a little no. We have a nice wide stance with the feet for stability and balance in our posture. And it's okay if the heels don't quite touch the yoga mat. That will come in time. A few breaths. Remember to keep a generous bend in the knees. Bring the belly close to the top of the thighs if you need it. From our downward dog, let's use an inhale to look forward. Exhale, top of your yoga mat. Now, as we do this, we're actually going to step and do sort of like a crisscross tiptoe situation here with the feet, crossing the legs from one side to the other until we come to our forward fold. So coming into our forward fold, we have a generous bend in the knees. Bring the belly close to the top of the thighs. You can bring the hands behind the legs here, or you can find a rag doll if you want to grab opposite elbows. So just find what feels good here, getting the heart above the head. This is great for blood flow and circulation here. When you're ready, let's walk the feet nice and wide. So we have the toes pointed slightly out, the heels are pointed slightly in. We drop our center down and we come into Malasana or yogi squat. So coming into Malasana, we are actively pressing the elbows, actively presses back against the legs here. As you do this, this will deepen the stretch in the hips. If it feels good, you might take some gentle rocks side to side. Remember your breath, remember to breathe. You might gently close the eyes here just for a moment. And really tune into how you're feeling. So this is a great stretch for our pelvic floor, for the hips, for the lower back, for the shoulders, all around. It's just good. If you're having trouble in your yogi squat, you can always bring a block or again your pillow underneath your bum, and that will give you something to rest on. Pressing the palms together actively towards the sternum here. When you're ready, from our yogi squat, we'll actually plant the palms and step back into a plank pose. So let's float onto the belly. Now coming down onto the belly here, we're coming into Sphinx. So the elbows are in line with the shoulders, palms are nice and flat. As you come into the Sphinx pose, you want to keep your heart space lifted. So oftentimes there tends to be a bit of slouching or collapsing through the shoulders here, kind of giving way. See where you can stack and lengthen nice and strong. When you're ready, take a gentle look past your right shoulder. Coming back through center, take a gentle look past the left shoulder. Back through center, you can take some gentle circles with the nose, gently roll it out. When you're ready, we'll tuck the chin to chest and just let the head be heavy here. Now, as you do this, we're still actively pressing away from the yoga mat through the elbows. Tuck the chin to chest and just deepen the stretch through the back of the neck. Remember your breath here. Remember your breathing in your Sphinx pose. We're keeping the pelvis, the hips close to the yoga mat here. Press nice and firm. When you're ready, let's find length. From here, we're going to bring the palms back beside the body, okay? We're going to be setting up for bow pose. When you're ready, I'm starting with the left hand and left foot reaching back towards my ankles, okay? Same with the right, so bending at the knees. When you're ready, on an inhale, we lift for bow pose. So we're actively pressing the feet or the ankles into the hands as we lift. Remember your breath. Remember to breathe. When you're ready, we'll slowly release Come to rest on either cheek and then windshield wiper the knees. Leaving the arms nice and long beside the body. When you're ready, let's do that again. Bow pose. Reaching back towards the ankles. On an inhale, we lift. In your own time, let's release. Rest on either cheek. Gently windshield wiper the knees. When you're ready, let's find stillness. You can relax your legs back down to earth. Let's press the palms into the mat. So hands in line with the rib cage, we squeeze the elbows in towards the body. Inhale to lift for cobra. Exhale to bow. Press the hips back into child's pose. Now you have the option here of taking child's pose as is, or again, you can use your bolster or your pillow. Bring that in between the thighs, underneath the belly, and we have support in child's pose. So coming into your child's pose, just take a moment, find your center, find your ground. Notice your breath. Notice your breathing. Notice how you feel. As we stay here in Balasana, child's pose, I'll invite you to think about, what does change look like for you? What does change feel like? What would it mean to be the change that you want to see in the world? The new year often brings new goals and new challenges, new intentions for the next 12 months. And so I invite you to envision what that will look like for you. A few more breaths in your child's pose. Breathing deep into the belly, nice full body breaths. When you're ready, inhale, big breath in. Exhale, long breath out. Let's slowly press our hips up out of child's pose. I'll go ahead and set my bolster or pillow to the side. We will swing the feet around, find a seat. From here, let's come onto our backs, keeping the feet on the yoga mat, knees bent. So now we're setting up for bridge pose. So as we lay here flat on our backs, we are setting up our body for the posture. And we do this by having the feet firmly planted against the yoga mat, feeling grounded and rooted. We'll tuck the tailbone under and draw our navel in. So sometimes it helps to bring your hands to your hips so you can feel that shift of actually tucking and pulling the navel in. And this will help flatten the back to make full contact. So our backs have this natural curvature of the spine. It's not actually straight. So often you'll find that when you first come to lay down, you'll feel the gap between the mat and your back here, the lower back specifically. And when you tuck the navel in, tuck the tailbone under, you'll feel that lengthening sensation here. And we can do the same thing with the neck, with the spine. So you might feel the curvature or the rounding out through the neck here. And if you lift and tuck the chin in just a bit more, we'll lengthen a little bit more through the neck as well. When you're ready, we'll have the hands, palms firmly planted, heels in line with the fingertips. When you're ready, on an inhale, we lift the hips and we're in bridge. Remember your breath. Remember to breathe deep into the belly. Squeezing through the glutes. When you're ready, we'll release the hips back down to earth. Go ahead and hug the knees into chest. Take a gentle rock side to side. Take a moment to self-soothe. When you're ready, you will find stillness, nice neutral spine. From here, let's release the feet back down to earth. Let's take a Supta Baddha Konasana, reclined bound ankle pose. So we bring the soles of the feet together and the knees will fall open. You also have the option of using your bolster or your pillow here for support as you draw that underneath the knees. Let's bring one hand to the heart space and the other hand to the belly. Notice how you feel. Notice your breath. Notice your breathing. Feeling one with all that is. Feeling grounded and centered within ourselves. Feeling nourished and well rested. Showing some gratitude for making it onto the yoga mat today. Gratitude for moving your body. Gratitude for giving yourself this time and space to simply be present, be still, be whole. Now you can stay here in your Supta Baddha, or you can lengthen through the legs and take a Shavasana. You can keep the bolster where it is for a supported Shavasana under the knees. You can keep the hands on the body or allow the palms to face up and open. Taking corpse pose. Breathing deep into the belly, nice full body breaths. When you're ready to close this practice, we'll bring the palms together and the thumbs to the third eye. We'll take a deep breath in through the nose and exhale. Thank you all so much for joining me here today. It is always such an honor and such a privilege to hold this space for you. And until we meet again, Namaste.